At the beginning of the story, we are shown the world-famous Dr. Kanji. Ever since his younger sister died of a disease for which there was no cure at that time, he decided that he would become a doctor and spend his whole life working as a doctor. He would spend his time making a medicine that can cure every disease. Then, after studying for years, Kanji becomes a world-famous doctor who, as per his promise, starts making a medicine that can cure every disease. Sometimes he forgets to eat and drink and works overtime, due to which his physical capacity is reduced a lot. One day, when he is working like this, he thinks, I should take some time off from work. I should rest. Then he sets the alarm for 40 minutes and goes to sleep on his sofa. But even after 40 minutes, his eyes do not open. This means that he has died for some reason. The next day, when his eyes open, when the door opens, he finds himself in a different place where a girl is standing near him, very happy to see him. She is calling him Pharma, which makes Sunakanji very confused, and he gets down from his bed to see the outside world and realizes that his body has become very weak. That is when his maid starts working on him. She starts shouting and says, "You should rest because lightning struck you, due to which you were in a coma for a few days." Hearing this, he tells her, "I am sorry, I actually don't remember anything." Then the maid shows him a mirror in which he is shocked to see himself because he is in the body of a 10-year-old child named Pharma. Here, Pharma thinks that he has no idea about his life. He does not remember anything, but he knows about his previous life, that he had gone to sleep, and after that, when he opened his eyes, he was here. He gets very confused, and then he feels a little pain. When this happens, he asks his maid if he can remove his bandages. The maid immediately removes them, then goes and brings hot water for him. While removing the bandage, she notices a mark on his hand. Seeing this, the maid gets very scared. He calms her down and says this might have happened due to lightning, but the maid starts praying to him and tells him, "This mark is proof that you have been blessed by the god of medicine." He is very surprised to hear the name of the god of medicine and asks her who this god of medicine is, but the maid tells him, "You have forgotten the god of medicine whom your family worships." Then Pharma realizes that he does not know anything about his life and asks the maid if she can tell him everything. "Will you tell me?" "I am a little confused," he says. The maid first introduces herself and says, "My name is Laut." Then she shows him the palace and tells him, "Your family is a royal pharmacist who makes medicine for the royal family." She then shows him his family photo and tells him, "Your family is very good at magic." Hearing this, Pharma asks her if he can also use magic. On this, Laut nervously tells him, "Now you should not say that you have forgotten magic as well. If this happens, you will be thrown out of the town." Pharma says, "Yes, I don't remember." On hearing this, she first gets scared and then tells him, "You will not tell this to anyone except me. Let me tell you one thing. You are very good at water magic. That's why, from now on, you should practice it." We then see Pharma practicing in his room. He imagines the water molecule in his mind, due to which water starts coming out of his hands. Seeing this, he gets very excited and surprised. However, the water keeps coming out, and he does not know how to stop it. He panics, throws out all the water, and steps back. Laut, standing outside, sees that Pharma can use magic, and she becomes very happy. Pharma does not stop there. He tries to extract even more molecules, successfully bringing them out and raising them with the other hand. Then Laut comes to him, takes him to the library, and tells him, "All the books here have already been read by you." He picks up a book and tries to read it, and to his surprise, he can easily understand the language. After this, Pharma goes to have dinner with his family. Seeing him fine, his father tells him, "I am very happy that you have recovered, but I had promised to ask you some questions once you came back." His mother interjects, saying he has just recovered. "You can ask him after some time." Pharma says, "Don't worry, I will tell you everything." Then his father starts asking him questions, to which Pharma answers very well. His father tells him, "Now you are completely cured, so you can start your training again." Hearing the word training, Pharma gets confused and wonders what training it is. He says yes. Then the next day, Pharma meets his personal tutor, Elin, who teaches him magic. Here, Elin starts suspecting him as soon as she sees him, because earlier he did not behave well with her, but now he has become very kind. Pharma tells her, "My memory has been frozen due to lightning, so I don't remember much." Hearing this, Elin calms down and asks him, "What is divine art?" When Pharma hears the term divine art, but doesn't know anything about it, Aelin starts explaining everything to him. After that, she takes him to a riverbank for training, where she tells him to get his magical staff out. However, he does not know anything about it, and tells her he hasn't brought one. Aelin gives him her magical staff, but first shows him a demo so that he can learn by watching. After watching the demo, he tries using the staff and performs such dangerous magic that Aelin becomes very scared. She starts checking him and, to measure his magic, gives him a tool that measures mana. As soon as Pharma starts channeling his mana into the tool, it breaks. Seeing this, Ellen is even more shocked and terrified because such immense magic power can only belong to a god or a demon. Later, we see a scene where Elin and Pharma are sitting on a bench. Elin is still scared, so Pharma tries to calm her down by making her laugh, and Elin eventually starts laughing. During this, Pharma discovers one of his abilities, called Divine Eye, with which he can detect injuries or ailments in a person. He starts scanning Elin and notices that she has a problem with her eyes and fingers. Pharma directly grabs her hand and asks if she has any issues with her fingers. She is surprised and asks, "How did you know that, Pharma?" He replies, "When I moved my hands like this, I saw your finger glowing." Hearing this, she becomes frightened and says, "What is this? A normal person cannot have such power. Who are you?" Aelin runs away from Pharma in fear. The next day, it is revealed that Aelin's health has deteriorated severely, so she cannot come to train Pharma. Hearing this, Pharma's father gives him a medicine and tells him to deliver it to Elin. Pharma takes the medicine to Elin's house, and when he starts examining it, he realizes that it is a fake medicine. The medicine is not very effective, so with the help of his magic, he makes a small change to it to ensure Aelin gets cured quickly. Then we see Elin, who is fully protected to escape from Pharma, and she asks him, "Have you come to kill me?" Pharma replies, "No, I have not come to kill you." She removes her mask, and we see that Elin's condition is really very bad. She then asks him, "What have you come to do?" Pharma says, "You are ill." "So, my father sent medicine for you, and I have also added some things to it." Hearing this, Elin gets scared and asks, "Did you mix poison in it to kill me?" Pharma responds, "There is nothing harmful. Eat this, and nothing will happen to you." But Elin does not believe him. Then Pharma explains, "You are my teacher, so I will not harm you. You do not need to be afraid of me." Elin, moved by his words, prepares to train him again. The next day, we see Pharma busy with his training. He comes to the training ground, and Elin also arrives, still wearing her armor. She tells him, "Although I trust you, your magic is very powerful, and it can harm me too. That's why I'm wearing this armor." She also thanks him, saying, "The medicine you gave me worked." They begin their training, and Elin is very surprised to see Pharma's incredible magic skills. After the training is over, Pharma is sitting in his home and using his divine ice ability to create magic. He is tending to the servant's injuries when a boat passes by. He scans it as well and finds out that one of the boat's servants has a serious injury. He decides to get medicine for all the servants on the boat. Pharma goes to his lab and starts creating the medicine for them with his magic. After some effort, he finishes making the medicine and then goes to the boat, distributing the medicines to the servants. Upon receiving the medicine, the first servant becomes very happy and emotional, thanking him. Pharma then distributes the medicine among the other servants, who also appreciate it greatly. Pharma tells the servants, "You are so lucky to be receiving medicine from a royal pharmacist, but there are other people in the world who do not have access to any medicine and die from hunger and helplessness." These words touch Pharma's heart, and he decides that he will create a world where people do not need medicine, where no one dies due to lack of resources. The next day, when Pharma sits down to eat with his family, he notices that his sister is missing from the dining table. He asks his father where she has gone, and his father tells him that she has contracted chickenpox, which is highly contagious. Because of that, she has been quarantined. He warns Pharma not to go near her. Upon hearing the name of the disease, Pharma begins thinking that chickenpox exists here as well, and he knows the cure. He starts making the medicine for his sister with the knowledge of his past memories. Pharma mixes the medicine into her food and goes to her room. When his sister sees him in her room, she says, "Father has forbidden me from taking any medicine. No one is allowed near me, so why are you here?" Pharma replies, "This is a secret. You cannot tell anyone about this." He then feeds her the medicine. A few weeks later, Pharma's sister is cured because of his medicine. Pharma then goes to his lab and creates a mini microscope, as he no longer wants to rely on his divine eye by licking his finger. Just then, a man comes to his lab and says, "Your father is calling you." As soon as Pharma reaches his father's office, his father tells him to quickly pack his backpack as they have to go to the royal kingdom. After this, the scene shifts, and the next day, Pharma and his father arrive at the royal kingdom. They learn that the condition of the princess is dire, and she is in a critical, dying state. As a result, the best pharmacists in the world have come to examine her. Gradually, all the pharmacists check on the queen, but her illness is so complex that they all give up. They say they cannot treat her, and among them is Pharma's father, who also admits that they won't be able to help. Pharma begins to think about the disease that none of them can treat. He starts scanning the queen with his divine eye and discovers that the queen has tuberculosis. No medicine works on humans suffering from this disease, and the patient can only be saved by injections. However, in this world, the experts do not administer injections. Pharma is lost in thought, trying to figure out how to save her when the queen's children come in, crying. They approach their mother, saying, "Mom, you can't leave us. We can't live without you." Seeing them in such pain, Pharma loses control. He rushes to the queen and asks, "Can I treat you? I have a medicine that can cure you." Everyone is shocked by his request. His father steps forward and tells him, "Don't trouble the queen, Pharma." He says the same thing, warning Pharma not to do anything foolish that could harm the queen. However, the queen, hearing Pharma's plea, tells him, "Okay, I give you permission. You may treat me. All these people have given up, but you are my last hope." After hearing this, Pharma heads to his lab and closes its gate with ice magic to prevent anyone from coming inside. He begins making the medicine, but his father calls out to him from outside, shouting, "Pharma, do you know what you're doing? If something goes wrong, it could be disastrous for you." Pharma ignores him and continues working. This frustrates his father, who becomes angry and breaks down the gate, entering the lab. He tells Pharma, "Don't do this," but Pharma remains focused on his task. In frustration, Pharma's father uses ice magic to attack him, but Pharma blocks the attack with a sheet of ice magic. Pharma then retreats to his home and creates an ice barrier to separate them. His father stands back, shocked, and wonders, "How did you use your magic without a magical stick?" He asks, "Who are you?" He got suspicious. "It seems so, brother." Then his eyes fell on Pharma's research diary, and he opened it, starting to read. He asked Pharma, "What is all this?" Pharma replied, "These are formulas for new medicines. When I was in a coma, I used to dream about them, and I remembered them." Hearing this, his father said, "Okay, now I understand. I saw your shoulder, and I now realize that you have been blessed by the god of medicine, which is why you're having these dreams. I trust you. Do your work." Saying this, he left the room. Pharma began preparing the medicine. After making it the next day, he took it to the royal kingdom. Before giving the medicine to the princess, he explained, "Your illness is caused by an infection, which is why you're suffering. This medicine may need to be taken for 1 to 2 years, so be prepared." He took a blood sample, showing the bacteria inside it under a microscope, which surprised him. Next, he went to the pharmacy, prepared 2 glasses of medicine, drank one himself, and handed the other to the queen. He told her, "Now, the fate of both of us depends on this medicine." However, nothing seemed to happen initially. Then, after some time, the queen woke up on her own and began to feel better. Seeing this, Everyone began praising Pharma. Afterward, Pharma returned to his mansion with his father. We are shown a scene 9 months later where Pharma goes to check on the queen. He tells them, "Now you are slowly getting better." The queen replies, "I had given up on life and felt like I was going to die, but because of one person, I regained my courage. That person was none other than my younger son, who showed me a new ray of hope to live." Pharma was very happy to hear this. As he was leaving, he said, "Okay, now take care of yourself. I am leaving." The next day, Pharma and his father arrive at the royal kingdom, dressed in fine clothes because today Pharma is being honored by the queen. First, it's Pharma's father's turn. The queen, standing in front of her throne, gives respect to Pharma's father. Then it's Pharma's turn, where he also receives respect and is given the title of royal pharmacist. The queen tells him, "Now you can open your pharmacy anywhere in the royal capital." Hearing this, Pharma becomes very happy because his dream is coming true. Pharma returns home and calls for a team of carpenters to set up his pharmacy quickly. While thinking about what to name it, a name comes to his mind, and he says, "We'll name our pharmacy Parallel World Pharmacy." Everyone gets excited upon hearing the name. The carpenters work together to prepare the signboard, which reads Parallel World Farm. When Alan arrives and sees the name, she is very happy to see Pharma's success. He tells him that the name is very good. Pharma shyly replies, "Thank you for your opinion." Then Elin starts asking him a little about the pharmacy. Just then, a man enters and asks, "Are you an employee here or the boss?" Pharma replies, "I am the boss here." The man is very surprised and says, "Oh, you've become the boss at such a young age. I have a great deal for you. Would you like to collaborate with me?" To this, Pharma says, "No, I am not interested in this. I don't want to work with you." The man responds, "You'll regret it. What will you gain from this anyway?" Pharma replies, "I don't even want to earn anything. I just want to distribute cheap medicines to poor people, which will benefit them." The man is surprised and says, "If this happens, your pharmacy will fail. Let me help you. Come with my team." Pharma refuses, and the man starts pressuring him. Elin, getting angry, asks the man, "Will you leave or will you get beaten up?" Insulted, the man leaves. After this, Pharma enters his pharmacy and notices there are only 2 workers. He thinks, "I should increase the number of workers." The workers then approach him, asking for work. One says, "I can do everything here, like I can at home." Pharma hires him, but he still needs an accountant. So he thinks about which accountant to hire, someone who should also have some experience. He then returns home and notices that all the servants are crying. Concerned, he wonders what happened to them and soon learns that his father's accountant is retiring due to leg pain, which makes it difficult for him to walk. Pharma then asks the accountant, "What if I treat your legs? Would you be willing to work with me?" The accountant agrees. Pharma, seeking permission, goes to his father and asks, "Can I hire the accountant who is retiring today for my pharmacy?" His father agrees and gives him a box full of gold coins to help expand the pharmacy. "If you're able to do well, you'll be able to continue growing," his father tells him. The next day, Pharma holds the grand opening of his pharmacy. However, as with most new businesses, customers don't immediately flock to it. A month passes and no customers come except for an old man who visits just to buy a toffee. Pharma becomes very frustrated with this lack of business. To help, Pharma's parents suggest rebranding the pharmacy. However, Pharma easily recognizes them when they arrive with the new name and takes them inside. He explains, "My pharmacy is not running at all. No customers come, and I am very worried." His father then asks, "Can you show me your pharmacy?" Pharma begins by showing them the pharmacy, starting with the medicine room, where many supplies are stored. Pharma continues showing his parents around the pharmacy, leading them to the medicine room, where various medicines are neatly stored, then to the bedrooms designed for patients. He asks them, "Did you find anything wrong here?" His father replies that everything seems fine. Then Pharma's mother offers a suggestion. "Along with medicines, you should also start making beauty products that are low cost and of high quality, so women from all walks of life can buy them." Pharma is excited by this idea. However, his father advises him, if you make these products, ensure you don't use any chemicals, as they could cause skin issues. While the discussion is ongoing, a person bursts into the pharmacy in a panic, asking if there's a pharmacist around. He explains that a girl needs urgent help. Pharma immediately goes with him to the girl's location, where her condition seems worrying. Using his divine ice ability, Pharma scans her and discovers that she has some injuries on her hands, which have caused a noticeable loss of blood. He rushes her back to his pharmacy to care for her. As Pharma works to stabilize her, he gently asks the girl what happened. She tearfully explains that she had been very upset after her crush rejected her, and in her sadness, she accidentally hurt herself. She apologizes for the trouble she caused, feeling guilty for all the distress. Ellen reassures her, saying, "It's not your fault. You won't feel this way again." A few days later, the girl returns to the pharmacy, and Pharma has already prepared some beauty products. He offers her a sample, and she's impressed with their quality. Pharma begins distributing these products, and the demand grows quickly. Due to the affordability and effectiveness of his beauty products, many women start coming to the pharmacy. Encouraged by the increasing success, Pharma opens a separate branch for beauty products, hiring several beauticians to produce even more items. As a result, Pharma's pharmacy begins to thrive and business flourishes. Because of her beauty products, she is being talked about throughout the whole city. This discussion eventually reaches the queen, so the queen summons Pharma to her palace. To test her beauty products, Pharma first gives her a lip balm. As soon as she applies it to her lips, she finds them very beautiful, which makes the queen like Pharma's products very much. Seeing this, Pharma begins telling her about his other products. After hearing about them, the queen advises him to increase the prices of his products because they are the cheapest in the entire market. As a result, other shopkeepers are losing customers and facing huge losses, which could eventually lead them to ruin. After hearing this from the queen, Pharma feels he is causing harm, so he agrees to increase the prices of his products. Later, we see Pharma on the beach, where he and his younger sister are playing with rats. They are lying down while Ellen is sleeping somewhere in a corner. Upon seeing Pharma, his younger sister insists on going into the water. He refuses, reminding her that their father has forbidden them from entering the water. As Pharma's younger sister and Laut insist on going into the water, Pharma hesitates but eventually gives in, allowing them to go. His younger sister asks him to join them, but Pharma refuses. However, this request brings back painful memories of his first sister, and he sits down overwhelmed with emotion and starts crying. Suddenly, he hears his sister scream. Panicked, he sees that she is drowning in the water. Fearing the loss of another sister, Pharma rushes toward her without hesitation, thinking he cannot fail her like he did the first time. As he jumps into the water, he reaches her, but despite his best efforts, he struggles to save her. In a moment of frustration and anger, a surge of power erupts from within him, creating a massive pit where the water once was. The display of his power shocks Pharma, and he becomes scared of his own abilities. Ellen, witnessing the event, is equally stunned because Pharma has unknowingly used negative divine art, a technique that only a Adim can wield. Pharma manages to pull his sister to safety, but as he reflects on the event, he believes no one saw what happened. Unfortunately, a man standing nearby saw the entire scene and, shocked by what he had witnessed, rushes. After hearing all this, they feel that maybe all this is the work of a monster, so they send a group to keep an eye on the Pharma. Two essences are sent, and then we see that Pharma returns to his pharmacy, where two people from Holy Group are waiting for him. They are keeping an eye on him, and then the next day, when a soldier comes back to duty, he opens the gate, and as soon as the gate is opened, a horse enters the pharmacy, carrying mud and garbage, and spreads dirt there. And when Bruno comes to know about this, he thinks that maybe someone is targeting his family. Then the next day, when Pharma reaches his pharmacy to clean it, some of his old customers come with their crew to help him to do it. And at the same time, some people from the city also come to help him. Then suddenly, a girl comes to Pharma in a panic and tells him that my father has fainted. Let's go quickly. Then Pharma quickly goes to his. He picks up all the weapons and goes out to help them. The girl takes him to a deserted forest, and when he reaches there, she suddenly disappears. Pharma is completely confused as to what is happening. Then a man in white clothes appears there. Some men wearing black jackets surround him from all sides, and Pharma finds out that these people are members of Holy Group, and their leader's name is Salman, who believes that there is a demon inside Pharma, and he has come to destroy him, and he tries to do so, but Pharma easily blocks all his attacks here. But Pharma is much more powerful than them and can easily defeat them, but Pharma knew that if he did something, then these people would be badly killed, so he was holding back. But the people were not agreeing to that. So, unwillingly, Pharma has to show them a sample of his powers, after seeing which they understand their status. Then Salman sees the same symbol in Pharma's hand and tells them that everyone should stop. This is not a monster. Rather, it is our God. On hearing this, those people stop and start apologizing to Pharma, but during the fight, Salman gets badly injured, and his wound is very dangerous. But Pharma tells him that you should not be injured in such a way, can't be left. You can get an infection and you can die. But Salmon, he tells him that I have attacked you, so this is my punishment. But our man is a doctor, so how could he leave an injured person? He tells him that I have to do your surgery now. But there is a minus point here that our guy was just a medical scientist in his previous life. He did not know how to do surgery at all, and there is no one to do surgery at this place. That is why he decides that he will do the surgery using his knowledge somehow, and he sets up an emergency tent there and starts the surgery. And brother, he is so lucky that the operation becomes successful. And after a few months, Selman gets completely cured, and after his recovery, the people from Holy Group give him a promotion. After that, he goes to meet Pharma in his pharmacy and tells him that you have saved my life. That's why I will keep your secret a secret. Here, Soman brings a lot of gifts for Pharma, among them a gift from his group. There is also a holy stick which he gifts to him when Pharma picks up the stick. Suddenly, the stick starts glowing, and then Soman says that this stick has chosen you, seeing which Ellen gets very excited and asks Pharma if she can touch this stick once, on which our guy directly gives it to her, but suddenly the stick goes through her hand, and here we come. To know that this stick can only be held by the one whom the stick has chosen itself.